This Sunday, April 30th at 3 p.m. at the Lutheran Church of the Cross, the Winnipeg Wind Ensemble will be presenting their final concert of the 2022-23 season. Called Water, Water Everywhere, this concert will explore the many facets of water and how it is interpreted through some of the greatest wind band literature, performed by Manitoba's premier wind ensemble. And joining me here over Zoom to talk about this Sunday's concert, I am joined by the Wind Ensemble's director, Ginny Helmer. Hey, Ginny, it's good to see you again.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me back.
hmm so I have to say, when I saw the title of the program, I started thinking about all the music that's inspired by water. Obviously, Handel's water music, and for band, the Vaughan Williams Sea songs. But here, with this concert, you've picked some really deep cuts. There's this DeMay aquarium piece and the Florence Price Old Boatman piece. Where did you find this music? Did you have it chambered in your mind, or did you have to look for this music to sort of help make it fit the theme of the concert?
Well, I always have to look, but I have a few sources. And actually, the piece that was the centerpiece for me for this concert was Down to the Sea and Ships, because I was really interested in the Robert Russell Bennett piece and the sort of backstory that it had been written for a TV series called Victory at Sea back in 1950, and then
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so that I thought was a neat premise. And then I did, of course, think of Handel's water music, and we found an arrangement that never gets played anymore by Hershey K. That we'll be doing this weekend. And yeah, the old boatman was really something that I wanted to do because I think more and more we need to recognize underrepresented groups and composers. And I love the piece, and I love the music of Florence Price too. So
Mhm.
that's how that went.
That's great. And there's also some really interesting transcriptions for band. You're doing a transcription of Debussy's Engulf Cathedral, which was originally written for the piano. It seems like a perfect piece for wind ensemble. All those amazing colors and textures that Debussy demands of the pianist, reinterpreted by wind ensemble. Can you talk about that transcription of Debussy's music? How does it work for wind ensemble? And in particular, there's some interesting writing for brass in that transcription too, right?
Well, it's a tricky transcription because the solo piano piece doesn't always translate well into a band transcription. Um, it really demands a lot of us in terms of tone color and balance. There's a huge dynamic contrast from the opening bars that are very still and very quiet to the climax, which is very full. And there's a lot of sort of murmuring water sounds that are in the low woodwinds. Yeah, so it's a good arrangement. I like it. Lots of challenge for the band.
Who did the arrangement? Do you know offhand?
Merlin Patterson is his name.
hmm You're also doing this really interesting piece by Florence Price, The Old Boatman. I was doing some research about this piece. Apparently, she originally wrote it for the piano, and I know that there has been there's been a transcription done for string orchestra. Where did you find this arrangement for band? I mean, can you talk about this piece a little bit?
Hmm. I don't remember where I came across. I was looking specifically for something by Florence Price, and so that's how I came across it, probably on a music store website and just searching the name and seeing what was available. And it's I'm thinking of it in my mind as a palate cleanser. So uh, the first piece we're going to do on the program is a Aegean Festival Overture, which is just like the epitome of bombastic style. It changes meters all the time. It's very exciting, really high energy, and then the old boatman just kind of takes us down, and it's got some lovely traditional harmonies in it and beautiful lines and palette
Mhm.
cleanser. Yeah.
hmm And I was listening to the string arrangement, and it has an element of folk song, like American folk song to it as
Well,
well, right?
you would almost. I was surprised that it wasn't something that I would have heard before. That it is
Mhm.
an original melody because it seems very familiar the first time you hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. One of the really great things about the concert is that you're going to be featuring the Winnipeg Wind Ensemble's student soloist winner, helping out with the pronunciation of the name, Yutong Jin. Is that right?
Yutong.
Yutong.
Yeah.
Uh, First of all, can you talk about the competition and When does it take place, and how does the competition work for that?
Well, we do this every year, and we put out a call for applications in the fall, and then listen to applicants' auditions in person. Uh, and we get a few every year, and then we have a panel, hopefully with people that play the instruments that are being represented, and we choose from them. So that's
Mm.
how that works. Yeah.
Can you talk about the winner? Who is she, and what's she going to be performing with the group?
Yutong, as a student at Fort Richmond Collegiate, she I know her from a lot of work during the pandemic with online Manitoba Band Association workshops and things. So I've done a number of workshops with her. Her teacher is Laurel Ridd, who's a very well-known, well-respected flute teacher in the city. So she's in great hands there. The piece that
Mhm.
she's playing, yeah, the piece that she's playing is called the Fantasie Pastorale Hongroise by Franz Doppler. So it's what I would call just a virtuosic showpiece for the flute. And it has that Hungarian feel because Doppler did spend a lot of time in Budapest. So then I was even able to tie it into my water theme since Budapest has a river running through it, fairly famous river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. I've said this before. The Dutch composer Johann de Mee, he's one of my favorite composers for wind ensemble. I love the way he writes for winds. It's just amazing. I also love his harmonic language and his textures for band. You're playing his piece Aquarium. It's in three movements and depicts six different kinds of fish. What can you tell us about this piece?
Well, what inspired me to choose it, other than just really liking the way it sounds, is that it really just took the whole water theme down to a micro level. Um, so each fish sort of has a theme. Um, the first fish, the neon fish, sort of introduces the piece, and then it's interesting. It's not always a leitmotif kind of thing for each fish. The electric eel in the first movement is just a rhythm that is supposed to evoke the kinds of zappy sounds you sometimes get in an aquarium. And then the angelfish in that movement is just a chordal pattern. And the last movement is particularly fun because it's called guppies. So you can definitely hear the guppies multiplying as the piece goes on. So it's a fun one for us to do.
Absolutely. The concert sounds fantastic. I'm also sort of wondering, I know that there's a lot of band directors in the Winnipeg Wind Ensemble. And now that we're back in the swing of things, what's been the sense with you and your colleagues in the group in regards to moving forward? They must be pretty optimistic, right?
I think so. Yeah, I feel like we're starting to recover and to look forward to, if not getting back to the way things were, maybe getting moving on to things that are even better. But this has been a very hard year for all band directors, I would say. I think when you're in the middle of restrictions and a crisis, that you just do what needs to be done, and
Right.
then when it starts to subside, that's when you realize just how tired you are. So it's been a year of recovery for us, but I think we're ready to move forward now. And having been able to do a whole season with the wind ensemble has been really great and really important for all of us.
Absolutely. This is the last concert of this season. Can you give us a sneak peek about next season? Are there any particular pieces that you want to program for 2023, 24?
Well, I have lots of ideas. I haven't made any firm decisions yet. There will be a concert that features Manitoba composers, just called Made in Manitoba. So I have a few things that I want to do on that concert, but it's not rounded out yet. And then, we'll keep trying to program some standard repertoire that people love and want to hear, and some things that are not as familiar, that are a challenge to the band, but are still accessible to our audience.
Fantastic. I'm going to wrap things up by asking how much are tickets and where can people get tickets for Sunday's concert?
You know what? That's a good question. I believe that tickets are still by donation, so pay what you think. So we aren't pre-selling any tickets. They can be purchased at the door.
Fantastic. Ginny, the concert on Sunday sounds like it's going to be just terrific. For our Classic 107 listeners, the Winnipeg Wind Ensemble's concert, Water, Water Everywhere, takes place once again this Sunday at 3 p.m. at the Lutheran Church of the Cross. For more details, go to classic107.com. I've written an article about the concert and have embedded a direct link to the ensemble's website, so you can find more details there. Ginny, thanks again.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Great to see you.
Great to see you.